What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I think we're going to go up to the Kennesaw National Battlefield Park, just northwest of Atlanta. It's a pretty cool park and a ton of history associated with it. It's just stone's throw northwest of the city of Atlanta, and it is really amazing how close it is to the major city. You're going to see it looks extremely rural, and I think it's like $5 to park. So for $5, you really get a ton of things you can see and do. There is a visitor center. I'm not sure how much that costs to tour the museum and stuff like that. There are a lot of other options there, but I usually just park, pay the $5, and walk around. I've got the drone today. I'm going to be flying that a little bit and just maybe hiking a little bit or walking the trails. Try to go up to the top of the mountain and sightsee a little bit. Come along with me. I want to show you Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield. All right, so I parked at the second lot. It's an overflow parking lot, and just to let everybody know, it's about 50 degrees out today. It's a little cool, but it is quite a walk, so keep that in mind. It's about a mile walk from the overflow lot, which is usually what you're going to have to park in. I think there's 2 overflow lots, and you're probably going to have to park in that any weekend day for sure, and even during the week it can be pretty busy, so keep that in mind. If you have any gear or anything you want to walk with or hike with, you'll be walking about a mile to the actual entrance of the park. Now this is technically a trail, but you're walking past a busy street, so it's not really a trail yet until we get up to the park. We're almost to the visitor center. That's about the starting point, or at least that's where my imaginary starting point begins, and I'll show you some more stuff once we get up there. So we're at the visitor center. This is the, like I said, the starting point, imaginary starting point, or the base of the mountain. From here you can go up to multiple trails. I usually go up to the one that's just a straight shot up to the center or the top of the mountain. I've never been in the actual museum, so it was open today. I thought I would check it out. There are crazy, crazy things in here as far as artifacts. They actually have Confederate money. I was not expecting the museum to be that informative. It was small, but they had a lot of stuff. I would definitely recommend checking that out. All right, so it had been a minute, but I found the trail that goes around to the top. There's a ton of different trails, and they all kind of, you know, bob and weave in and out of the mountain, but this one, which, as you can see here, Kennesaw Mountain Trail, the Kennesaw Mountain peak is about 0.9 miles away. So we're off to the top. Like I said, I've done it before with my son, but it's been a while, so had to ask somebody. No shame in that. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to be a hero or cool. If you have little kids with you or a big group of people, older adults or young kids, maybe take the road. There's a road that parallels this trail. It goes to the top of the mountain, and while it can be steep, and I've done it before, it's nothing like the actual trail, which I thought I could conquer today for some reason, even though I'm not 100%. It's a bad idea. So just keep that in mind. We're about halfway there, and it's kicking my you know what. Downtown Atlanta. You can barely see it, but we are almost there. All right, so I'm dying. Look at this shit. Fucking kidding me? When does it end? Oh my god, yo. So I'm not a badass, and I'm not in shape at all. I never claimed to be, but I can hike. And I gotta say, the mountain trail was not what I expected. It legit whipped my ass, but I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. We're here, and I did it, so fuck the haters. Talk to you at the top. Alright, like I said, I made it to the top. There's a little spot up there where you can go and see the rocks. I might climb up there in a little bit once I catch my breath. But this is the actual top. You know, people can talk shit about that little walkway, one little staircase. I made it. And, you get a great view, man. How beautiful this is. The city right there. So I went the bitch route. I took the bus back, but I don't really care what anybody says because I'm almost 40 years old and my health is not in the tip-top shape that it should be in right now. So being a little under the weather and having the issues I do right now, I feel pretty good about myself getting all the way up to the top of that mountain. The ride back was right in time. I mean, it came as soon as I got to the top, and it was, man, it couldn't have come a second late. It was just literally perfect. Drove it down to the bottom, and I feel 100 times better. I'm gonna go try to see, I'm on the Brumby Trail now, which is just to the left. When you get to the visitor center and you're looking at the mountain, it's just to the left of the main trail. I'm gonna go see if I can find a place to maybe sit, eat some jerky and some chicharrones, and maybe put the drone up for a second. If not, taking some views and relax for a moment and not just completely wear myself out. Here's an idea. So, yeah, well, it doesn't say anything about a drone. And I'm sure I could get it up and fly it around. There's a ton of open space here. I don't want to do it. I have to go fetch it out of a tree or something crazy if it gets caught. They're really trying to protect these lands, these battlefields, as best as they can. I mean, obviously people are going to be disgusting and throw trash and such, and they have to constantly keep it clean. And I think there are 2 park rangers. I've always seen about 2 that run different shifts up and down, kind of keep people in check. But either way, I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to try to sit down, enjoy some food, and head back about a mile to the parking area, grab my car, and call it a day. But it's been a pretty awesome day, and just wanted to show everybody how amazing Kennesaw Mountain Battlefield Park is. And if you live in Atlanta or the metro area, you should definitely come and check it out. Well worth the $5. So I didn't really get to fly the drone today. Weather wasn't really working in my favor, but when I just think about how grateful I was to just be able to do what I just did, even though I've been there multiple times already, it's pretty incredible. There's history all around us. There's things to see, there's things to do, and really, you don't need a ton of money to do it. That entire adventure cost me $5, and I couldn't be more grateful that I got a chance to experience that much history for $5. You know, sure, I didn't get to fly the drone, which was like the whole reason for coming out here today, but hey, it turned into something else, and I'm here for it. So overall, pretty incredible day. Just a thought that crossed my mind as I'm walking through this amazing historic battlefield. The men who fought on this hallowed ground. And look, anytime you post anything about the Civil War or talk about the Civil War, people are going to have their opinions. Obviously, it was a horrible thing that had to lead up to that war, and I won't even speak on what that was because it's terrible and it's wrong and it's unjust. But every person that fought in that war was a human being, whether that was on the Confederate side or the Union side. And those boys who were 13, 12 sometimes, had to go out to war to fight for their cause, what they thought was their cause. They didn't know. They were just being told what they had to do, and they didn't really have a choice or say in the matter. They had to go in and fight that war. And a lot of them died. Most of them died, as a matter of fact, and didn't make it home. And I know people have strong opinions about it, but there's no question in my mind that, let me turn around here, I don't want to go back deeper into the woods right now. There's no question in my mind that those kids should never be forgotten. Whether they're wearing a gray coat or a blue coat, those were people. They had families, they had mothers and daughters and children. And it's just a shame that we live in a world where there's so much defensiveness and divisiveness, where we can't even have a discussion about it anymore. We're just told that we need to erase all the dirty things in our closet, all the dirty things in our history. And I don't need to ask anybody if that's wrong, because it just is. It's not right, and these things need to be studied and talked about, and not just occasionally. They need to be talked about all the time. This needs to be out in the open and discussed frequently so that we never go through these things again. You know, I think a big reason why we're in such a predicament today is because we don't talk about these things anymore, and everybody's just hush hush, and all that does is fester and stew, and we lash out at each other, and we hate each other, and we kill each other. And I just think that everybody that fought in that war, no matter what side they were on, if they looked at the times that we're in today, they would probably be disgusted at what the country has become. And regardless of what your opinions are on that war, the men and women who died, the men who died, in that war, there were women that died as well, but not in the actual war itself. But we need to remember those kids, remember those adults, everybody that fought in that war, because if we don't, history is bound to repeat itself. And, it's just a shame. And as I'm talking to you on this camera right now, it just began to rain. Thousands of raindrops just began to fall on this battlefield. How about that? You know, you get a profound sense of sadness when you walk around here and you really breathe the air. Wow. Well, I, for one, will never forget why we fought that war and what became of it. And hopefully one day we can all have a dialogue that isn't a bunch of yelling and screaming at each other, and move forward as a country. Now, I don't know if that day will ever come, but I hope it does. I'll leave you with this. Just because the history of our country is disgusting and ugly doesn't mean it should be hidden. All right, until the next one, you guys have a good one.